Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. From today onwards, we are going to start most important subject, that is the SQL. Before going into the SQL part, uh, so SQL is the most important, we can say, in all the interviews, especially for the freshers. In all the companies, they are going to ask the SQL queries for sure. If you are attending a Deloitte or Infosys or Cognizant, Capgemini, whatever the companies you are taking an interview, means they should compulsorily they are going to ask you a SQL queries and SQL topics. So before starting a SQL and solving the SQL queries, so let's understand what is the database, what is the data, and what is the DBMS. So we will understand this one, and from the next class we are going to learn the SQL, and we will solve all the queries whichever they asked in the interviews. For sure, we will cover all those queries. So let's go and understand what is data. What is data? Let's take one example. Here one person is standing, right? So let's take it is an object. It has some properties, right? Means properties means we can say attribute, like this person have some height and some color, right? So like that, it has some own properties, like it has its name, right? This person has a name, particular name, right? So let's take his Raju, and this thing we can say as a data. Raju means it is the name, right? It is some data, right? So height is the 5.5. Then it is also a data, like that. Data means something raw fact, we can say raw fact or raw information that describe this properties of the object. We can say that thing we can call as an data. Data means that is the raw fact or raw information, we can say, that describe the properties of this object. Raju, and height is the 5.5, color is white, right? This Raju and 5.5 and white, this all are we can say as a data, right? It has its like example name, age, mobile number, and Instagram followers, Amazon orders, how many orders in this month, like this all are we can consider as a data. What is the database? Database means we can say, let's take you are sitting in one room, you have your own desk, right? In that desk you will arrange some books, you will place some books, we can say. Or let's take you are having one box, in that box you will place your items. Girls will place their makeup items, right? Okay, like that we can say it is a database, means it is one place or medium where we can store the data. That thing we can call as a database. In a technical way, if we want to explain the database, means we can say it is the place or medium where we are going to store the data in the systematic or organized manners. We are storing some data in one particular place. That place we can call as an database. Let's take we are having a school. In that school, class A means section A is there. In the section A, how many students are there? That name, that student's name and age and a mobile number, everything we are storing in a organized manner, right? That place we are calling as a database, where we are storing our data in a systematic or organized manner. That place specifically, place is the most important word. That place we are calling as a database. Here we are given one table, right? Price list is there, and it is a product, and some of the items, what are the items are there, here we are mentioned, and here we are given a descriptions and the price. This or we are storing everything, right, in a systematic or organized manner. In a cleaned way we are representing the product and the details of the product. That place we are calling as a database. It is stored in the backend, right? In the backend we are using a database to store these details. That place we are calling as a database. Okay, why we need a database? Why we need database? Why we need means, let's take you are storing some student details right here. Student details you are storing. Let's take if you want to see one person complete details. Let's take I'm a student. My name is Misbah. Right here, in this table, in this place, all the student details are stored. Right, what they are going to do means if they are given a roll number, they will enter that roll number and fetch the candidate details from this table or from this place, and they will take my all the details. Right, if you want to manually, how we are going to check? Let's take if you are written some details in the book means let's take 60 students are there means what we are going to see means one by one we are going to see, or if you are given a roll number, that is also a good like we will fetch the details. Right, so like it is a something difficult also, it is not secure also. Right, if we lost that book, we can't recover that one. Right, we need to write again. Right, so in the database, how it is the useful compared to the manual things means we can easily fetch and we can store the huge amount of data we can store, and we can easily search. Right, you can have a many data, huge amount of data you can easily fetch. Right, easily you can search and fetch the details, and easily you can update. Right, if you want to update one particular person's details means you can easily update that one, and it is a secure too, and you can take a backup too. Right, so database is the very helpful we can say. Right, next we understand that one. Right, why we need a database. Right, so types of database, we can see two types of database are there: relational database and non-relational database. Relational database we are calling as a DBMS or DBMS. Right, relational DBMS database management system. Here two types of their: relational and non-relational. Relational database means we can call it as a DBMS also. Like usually two database also we are using for the purpose of storing some data. Right, here the difference is how we are storing the data. On that basis we are dividing into the two things: relational and non-relational. Relational means how we are going to store the data means we are going to store the data in the tabular format. We are using the table to store the data. Where means in the relational database we are using the table. We are using a table to store the data. Like data is organized in the tabular structure, we can say. That thing is a relational DBMS. And example or like MySQL we can see, and Oracle and the PostgreSQL. These things will comes under the relational database. We are going to store the data in the tabular format, and all the data are related to each other in the table, we can say. And non-relational database means here we are not using the table to store the data. How we are going to store means in the key value format we are using the key value format. And in the document format, in the graph format we are storing the data. That time we are using the non-relational database. For example, we can say MongoDB and Firebase and Cassandra. This will comes under the non-relational database. Here we are not using the tabular structure to store the data. That is the non-relational database. Sometimes in the interview they will ask a difference between the relational and non-relational, and give me some example of the relational database and non-relational database. Usually they will not ask what is the data, they will not ask what is the DBMS. It is the rarest case. And types usually ask in some of the interviews, like a difference between them. Okay, let's go and understand what is the DBMS, database management system. Right, like okay, database management system means it is a kind of software, we can say, that helps to manage the database. It is one software that usually going to manage the some of the database. Let's take it is the database. Let's take it as a database means it is the here we are having a DBMS. It is one kind of software that manages this database, DBMS. So let's take it as a database means we are using one software called as a DBMS. Through that we are managing this database, and we are maintaining that one. Right, that thing we can call as a DBMS. So why we need a DBMS means So let's take, you want to create a database, you want to insert data, you want to update that one, you want to delete that one, you want to give the security to that data. So for that purpose, we are using one software called as DBMS, right? I hope you understand this one. DBMS means one kind of software, we can say, that helps to maintain and manages this database, right? That thing we can call as a database management system. In the here itself we are going to understand that one, right? Database management system. Database, we are managing that one, we are managing the database, that's it, right? Okay, this is about a database management system. Like its function means, like if you want to create a database, if you want to insert, if you want to delete, if you want to update the data, that time we are using the database management system. It is the function we can say. And feature, main important feature means it is going to provide the security and authorization for this database. This is the main feature we can call it. Like example means, we can see the MySQL workbench and Oracle and SQL Server, PostgreSQL, and all those things will become under the database management system. We are going to use in the further upcoming class, that is the MySQL workbench we are going to use. MySQL we are going to use. MySQL workbench we are going to use this one in the upcoming classes. What is the SQL? Before going to the SQL, let's take, you are having here the database and database management system, DBMS. Let's take, you are having here a DBMS database. It is a software, and we are having a database. Okay, let's take before that, let's take here, you guys are sitting here in front of me. If I am standing here, or I am also sitting with you guys. Okay. 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 This is me and this is you. Okay. I know we guys are beautiful compared to this diagram. Yeah. Let's go. Here here you are sitting in front of me. I am also sitting here. And if I want to communicate with you, right? If I want to communicate with you, I need to use something, right? I need to use some languages to communicate with this person, right? So if I want to communicate with you, then I will use a language, right? I will use a English, or I will use a Hindi, right? For the communication purpose, we are using one language, right? So like that, here also to communicate with a database, here let's take, here you are sitting, here you are sitting, and if you want to communicate with this database, we need something, right? We need to use something to communicate with this one, right? We are not go directly into the database and we will take from our hands, right? Not like that, right? So here also we will use one language, we can say. Here we are using one thing, right? We are using one language to communicate with this relational database. Sorry, this is a relational DBMS, right? For the relational database, we are using a SQL. So to communicate with the RDBMS, right? To communicate with this RDBMS to manage this relational database, we are using one language. That language is called as an SQL. SQL is used to communicate with this relational database to manage this database. We are using one language. That language is called as an SQL. SQL stands for structured query language, right? We will use, it has some particular style and it has particular formats, right? Through that we are using to the relational database. Like we are having a like select star from student, right? Select star from student. It is the one format, right? To fetch the student details, we are using that one, right? Like that, here we will understand. Don't worry, we will understand in the further upcoming class how we are going to write that one, how we are going to write, why we are using select, why we are using a star from student, why we need to use that format. Everything we are going to understand in the upcoming classes. So this is about SQL. Let's take one more real world example. Let's take, you are ordering something from the Flipkart. From Flipkart, you are ordering something, right? You will fetch here, you will write something and you will get that one. You will press on order and right, means if you are click on order, right, that will take the data, and it is going to take that product details, and here the product details, and here your address, and here your details, mobile number, all those things it is going to store, right? Like that in the backend it is going to use. In the backend we are using a database, like if you are placing an order, means it is like a insert, we can say. Checking a order means we are selecting that one, right? If you want to see the order, right, your order, right, here we are selecting the order or product whichever I have ordered, that one, right? If you want to update that one, you can update, right? If you want to update the address, you can update that one, right? All those things will work in a backend, like that one, like that only. Insertion, deletion, updation, right? So this is how SQL is going to be work. We will understand in a good and easiest way in the upcoming classes, don't worry. Now if you are feeling confused, everything is okay and fine, don't worry, we will master this SQL in the upcoming classes. Okay, if you have any doubt and if you want any topic, let me know in the comment. I am ready to explain all those things. Okay, that's it for the today's class. We are understand what is the data. Data means a raw fact, we can say, right, that describe the properties of the object. And database means we can say it is a place where we are storing the data in the systematic and organized way. That place we are calling as a database. And why we need means for the security purpose, for fetching purpose, for easily we can fetch, right, to play some of the data easily. If you want to update that one, if you want to secure that one, we are going to use the database. And types of database, two types of database are there: relational database and non-relational database. Coming to the relational means we are storing the data in the tabular format, that is the relational database. And non-relational database means we are using one database. Here we are storing the data in the key and value format, or in the document format, in the graph format. That way becomes under the non-relational database. We are using a relational database in the further upcoming classes. In the tabular format we are going to store that one. Okay, in the what is the DBMS means? DBMS means it is a software, we can say. Through that software we are managing and maintaining the database, that's it. And SQL means SQL is used to communicate with the relational database, right, to manage and manipulate the data. That thing we can call as SQL. SQL stands for structured query languages. Okay, this is about today's class. If you have any doubt, let me know in the comments. In the further upcoming classes we are going to start the SQL, so be prepared for that one. Don't worry, I will explain. If you don't know also, we will start from zero. Okay, and see you in the next class. Bye bye.